A disease that last infected a living creature 30,000 years ago is still perfectly capable of infecting one today. It hasn't evolved. It hasn't adapted. It has simply been waiting, frozen solid, in the ground beneath the Arctic, and that ground is starting to thaw. This isn't a horror movie premise. It's a documented, repeatable laboratory result. So let's walk through exactly how a dead disease wakes up, step by step, and whether the thing that crawls back out of the ice could actually kill you. Step 1 is the freezer itself. Permafrost is ground that has stayed below freezing continuously for at least 2 years, and in the far north, some of it has stayed frozen for hundreds of thousands. It covers nearly a quarter of the land in the northern hemisphere, and it is, without exaggeration, the largest and oldest natural freezer on the planet. Whatever falls into it, a mammoth, a bison, a human, and everything living inside them, simply stops decaying. The cold halts the bacteria that would normally break a body down. Time, in a sense, stops. Step 2 is understanding what actually survives in there, because not everything does. Most complex organisms die when they freeze. The ice crystals tear their cells apart from the inside, but the smallest, simplest things are far harder to kill. Bacteria can form spores, hardened, dormant shells that shut everything down and wait. Some can wait a very long time. And viruses aren't even alive the way you are. They're just packages of genetic instructions, and instructions don't die. They degrade. Kept cold enough, in the dark, sealed in frozen soil, that degradation slows almost to nothing. This is where it stops being theoretical. In 2014, a team of French researchers pulled a virus out of Siberian permafrost that had been frozen for around 30,000 years. They didn't just find its fragments, they revived it. In the lab, that ancient virus became active again and infected a living host. Now, before you panic, the host was an amoeba, a single-celled organism, and the virus was harmless to humans. That was the point of choosing it. But the principle it proved is the part that matters. 30,000 years of ice is not a death sentence for a pathogen. Step 3 is the thaw, and this is no longer hypothetical either. The Arctic is warming nearly 4 times faster than the global average. Ground that has been frozen since before the last ice age is now softening, slumping, and collapsing every single summer. As it thaws, it releases whatever it was holding. Not just carbon and methane, which is the story you usually hear, but the biological cargo, the carcasses, the bones, the bacteria, and yes, the viruses that the cold had been keeping in suspended animation for tens of thousands of years. Step 4 is the pathogen finding something to infect, and we have already watched this happen. In the summer of 2016, in a remote corner of Siberia, an unusually warm season thawed the carcass of a reindeer that had died of anthrax decades earlier. The spores, released from the softening ground, spread through soil and water. Thousands of reindeer became infected. Dozens of people were hospitalized, and a 12-year-old boy died. The outbreak came from an animal that had been dead, frozen, and forgotten for something like 75 years. So here's the uncomfortable reframe. The danger isn't just that these diseases are old. It's that they're unfamiliar. Your immune system is a library of everything you and your ancestors have survived, but it has no entry for a microbe that last circulated before humans reached the Americas. Whole diseases we defeated, including smallpox, which has been found in the frozen remains of its victims, are down there. A pathogen that vanished from the world could return to a population with no living immunity, no vaccine, and no memory of it at all. But here's the other half of the truth, the half the headlines leave out. Most of what thaws will die harmlessly in daylight and open air. Most ancient microbes were never adapted to human beings, and a virus that infects an amoeba is a very long way from one that infects you. The real risk isn't a single frozen plague erupting from the ice. It's the slow game of probability. Millions of tons of biological material thawing every year, decade after decade, rolling the dice again and again until, eventually, something with the wrong keys finds the right lock. For all of human history, the ice was a one-way door. Things went in and did not come back. We built our modern world on the quiet assumption that the past stays buried. The permafrost is now telling us that assumption was always temporary. The genes remember, even when we have forgotten the diseases they belong to. If you want more of the hidden history frozen inside our own biology, subscribe to The First People, and tell me in the comments what you want us to dig up next.